National Football League. It's Super Bowl Sunday. We'll see Matthew Stafford and the Los Angeles Rams taking on Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals.
So much has happened since the Super Bowl was last in this part of the U.S. in the early 90s. The Rams and Chargers have both returned to L.A., and they've constructed this incredible new palace for football, SoFi Stadium in Inglewood. And it will be the scene tonight for Super Bowl 56. And what a matchup we have. Tonight, it's all on the line. We play for the Lombardi Trophy, as it'll be the AFC champion Cincinnati Bengals taking on the NFC champions, the Los Angeles Rams. Brandon Gaudin joined by my good friend Charles Davis. And Charles, it was maybe the most unlikely Super Bowl run we've seen in a long time. What a story. The Bengals had not won a playoff game since January of 1991. 4-11-1 last year, 2-14 the season before that. Bottom line, though, here they are, the AFC champs.
Hey, Brandon, this is one of the more remarkable turnarounds in NFL history in recent years. In fact, most of the guys on this team weren't even born the last time they won a playoff game. Although, not that long ago, they had a stretch where they were in the playoffs seemingly every year, but couldn't win a playoff game. Now they've gotten that done. They're back in the Super Bowl. And remember, 2 Super Bowl appearances in their history. Number 16 and 23. Unfortunately, both times they ran into Joe Montana and the San Francisco 49ers.
Meanwhile, the L.A. Rams, they are back in the Super Bowl for the second time in 4 years. Remember, they lost Super Bowl 53 to the Patriots in Atlanta 13-3. But here they are trying to be the second team in 2 years after Tampa Bay last year to win the Super Bowl in their home stadium.
And we go back to that Super Bowl loss to the Patriots, and remember, they were an offensive juggernaut at that time, but only put up 3 points in that game. And they have been a little bit of a tough team to pin down over the last few years. They've had their shares of ups and downs, especially on the offensive side of the ball. But they've always had that great defense, and they're looking to ride that crew to a Super Bowl crown.
And we will not have a return, so the first drive of this Super Bowl will begin at the 25. The Bengals offense here ready to rock and roll. Joe Burrow is the man at quarterback.
And he's been sensational all season long, but he saved his best work for the playoffs, leading his guys to the AFC Championship a couple of weeks ago. And now he knows what lies ahead. He's going to need to play a near-perfect 4 quarters of football to get his guys to the finish line.
The former second-round pick, this is Joe Mixon. And he's going to take this ahead for right around 3 yards, but no more than that. Second down.
Well, that's just a pile of bodies there, and that's when you kind of find out who's a tough guy, right? Who can stand up and make a play. It was only a 3-yard run, but for both sides, they had to walk away from that feeling like, okay, I can stand up when the going gets tough in here.
On 2nd and 7, Burrow. That's caught by his tight end, Uzama. And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35.
And that's a more than acceptable read right there because it's zone coverage, so timing is everything. This time he waits for his man to come open, puts it right on him, and they pick up a first down.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. They're passing here, Joe Burrow. Buying time to his left. He'll wind up getting right about 4 there on the scramble, and it's 2nd down.
Well, he did a nice job keeping his eyes downfield, waiting for someone to get open. But once the pressure forced his eyes down to see the rush, it was time to make a break for it.
Coming up on a 2nd and 6. Burrow looking to pass. That one taken in by T. Higgins. And he's able to get this one out closer to midfield across the 45. So the completion good for 6 yards. And that'll bring up what looks to be a 3rd and inches. Can't be more than a half a foot. Burrow will throw. And the catch made. It's Tyler Boyd. And he is going to have a Bengals first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. Got to say, I was a little surprised to see him, Charles, come out in the shotgun on 3rd and less than a yard.
Yeah, but the way the NFL is nowadays, we hardly ever see anyone really run for it on short yardage. So they're going to throw the football more times than not. That was a nice, easy rhythm throw right there, and they pick up the first down.
So from Rams territory now, it's 1st and 10 at the 42-yard line. They go back to the ground now with Mixon. It's a 6-yard pickup, but it gets him to 2nd and 4.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
Six yards on that last play. Here's 2nd and 4. Burrow going to give this to Mixon. And he's got this down almost to the 20 before he's dropped. That's his longest run of the first quarter. And, Charles, we talked before the game about them needing to establish the run game. They'll be looking for more of that.
And they got to the perimeter. So that tells me that that's part of the game plan of what they want to get done today. So they'll have some complementary runs where he'll run it to the inside. But it appears that when they want the big yardage, they think they can get to the outside and make it happen.
Mixon with a first down carry. He'll get a nice chunk there on the first down run, and it's 2nd and 4.
Well, I think that's what they're going to need to do here in the first half. You've got to take some pressure off of this young quarterback, and no better way to do it than to establish the running game early.
The last run got 6, now 2nd and 4. Well, they'll try a jet sweep here with Higgins.
Well, I sure wouldn't be surprised if we see more of this as this game goes on, because we know they like to use their wideouts either on quick throws or on jet sweeps like what we just saw there. And to say that that one worked well, partner, that's stating the obvious.
A chance for the first points of this Super Bowl. It's 1st and goal. They'll give it to Mixon. And they'll get this from the 8 to the 5. Pickup of 3. Just not a whole lot of room to operate there on that carry.
No, not at all. They did a really nice job staying in their proper places and not allowing any lanes to open up.
On 2nd and goal, one man stands in the backfield, and that's Mixon. They'll give it to him up the middle. And he'll take this into the end zone. Now, hold on here. We do have a flag down. So let's see what this is about. So reverse the celebration. We'll see if they have something else in their bag of tricks.
And isn't that always tough to watch when they score and you see the excitement, and then when they realize those points aren't going to count? Can they get it back together and find their way back to the end zone?
A crucial penalty there as the hold backs him up for another 2nd and goal. Now it's Burrow. Out of his hands quickly to Higgins. And he's going to be brought down on what will be the final play of this first quarter. We're scoreless after 1. 3rd and goal, a big play in this Super Bowl. Here's Burrow setting up to throw it. And that is caught. He's got it for a Bengal touchdown. With a first touchdown of this Super Bowl and a long one at that. And the Bengals have struck quickly here in the opening minute of this Super Bowl. Well, that drive felt like it took up an eternity. We finally have some action on the scoreboard.
Yeah, but plenty of action prior to, because that drive took up all the first quarter before we spilled into the second. And finally, points were registered.
On the other sideline, they're chomping at the bit just to get the football. Evan McPherson for the extra point. And he's got it to make it 7-0 Bengals. That one in the books as a 12-play drive. And it's finished off with a Cincinnati touchdown. After the touchdown, McPherson on to kick this one away. And they'll start at the 25 as Powell decides against returning it. So now the Rams will get their first opportunity with a football. They'll be led out by their quarterback in his 13th NFL season now. It's Matthew Stafford.
And he comes in off of a tremendous game in the NFC Championship round 2 weeks ago. This has been a team all season long that's really taken their identity from their quarterback, and he's been very vocal in days leading up to this game that he believes that this is their time, and he's going to do all he can to will them to a Super Bowl win.
They'll start out here with a jet sweep. And not much to speak of. Call it a 1-yard gain up to the 26. But defensively, they had that one pretty well figured out.
Yeah, and one of the things about this play, it can be even more effective when you run a lot of motion, and there's plenty of times you don't hand it off.
The last play got just a yard. Here's 2nd and 9 from the 26. Stafford. They'll set up the screen here to Akers. So, Charles, first drive here, little safe completion underneath, maybe get some rhythm, get your feet wet, so to speak.
I agree, and I like it because it's a lot like a basketball game when you're getting started and you pass the ball around so everyone touches it early and gets involved in the game. In this case, it's not just dumping it to a back and he's able to run with the ball, but you get your offensive linemen involved because they get to get out and run and hit people in the open field. Everyone getting their feet wet early. Nice play there to force the incompletion, and to me, one thing's for sure. When you're the underdogs and you're playing on the road, you absolutely have to get takeaways. You've got to get the ball from them.
Yeah, win that turnover battle, going to be key. They didn't get one there, but you get the feeling they keep making plays like that, they might just get a few.
Yeah, once you get one, defensive teams think they come in bunches.
So they're forced to punt on 4th as this one's away. And this is going to hit the goal line and continue on into the end zone for a touchback. Here again comes Joe Burrow and the offense for the Bengals. 5 for 5 that last drive. Touchdown pass as well. He was clicking. Receivers, I don't want to be cliche, but running really solid routes too.
And what I love about it is when you look across any team, all right, the body types of the receivers are usually different. The way that they get open, different as well. Some of them use power to get open. Some of them use those head fakes and subtle moves. Some of them just use pure speed. And the really good ones, when they're established, they know how to push off at the end of a route, too.
And the second wave of tacklers is going to get him as they stop him behind the line. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11.
I like the strategy. Extra tight ends, extra beef. They want to run the football, but that means they probably want to run it inside. If you get strung out on the perimeter, you're in peril.
Yeah, we saw the result, negative yardage. loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. Now it's Burrow. This is caught. It's Boyd. And he goes out of bounds just shy of the 45.
And as a quarterback, you always want to exploit gaps in the defense, and he finds one here. Crossing route, working from right to left across the field. And once you get defenders going in the wrong direction, it is awfully hard for them to pivot back, and you end up getting the first down.
Burrow going to fake to mix it and now look to throw. Man open, that's Jamar Chase complete. And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40.
I think it all came together there. In-breaking route, drove it with excellent pace. Money throw right there to move the sticks.
So from Rams territory now, it's 1st and 10 at the 39-yard line. A handoff to Mixon, and he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up. I think you mentioned in the opening drive that these guys needed to establish the run, protect the young QB. I actually wrote that down, believe it or not. So how would you assess things so far?
I'm kind of touched that you actually wrote something like that down. I appreciate that, partner. But I do think they've been able to do that. Maybe not as effectively as they've wanted to, but I think we'll see more of as this game goes along because they want to continue to take care of that young QB.
2 minutes on the clock in the 2nd quarter of this Super Bowl. A reminder, coming up at intermission, we'll get highlights of this Super Bowl from Jonathan Coachman and the crew in Orlando for our EA Sports halftime report. Looking deep downfield, and that's going to be incomplete. Good effort there, trying to take a shot, but it's 3rd down.
Love the idea, love the concept, but you got to leave a little room on the sideline so he can fade into it when he makes the catch. That was thrown too close to it for the receiver to make a play.
They need to get to the 29 if they want to pick up a first here on 3rd down. Now Burrow. He'll air this one out for Boyd. And this a leaping effort, but it's knocked away and incomplete.
There is something to a game plan with trying to keep a defense honest. With a guy with that type of speed, you do so. Send him deep, try and throw some air under it, and hope you connect downfield. On that play, they were unsuccessful.
So on 4th down, off goes Burrow. On comes Evan McPherson for the Bengal field goal. This from 54 yards away. McPherson's kick is good. And the lead moves to 10-zip. So that one on target, and it adds to this first-half lead.
And maybe we're too early to worry too much about 1-score lead, 2-score lead, etc. But this is where you kind of start banking those points that come in helpful later on.
Here's McPherson now to send it away. And they'll start at the 25 as Powell decides against returning it. Set to begin their next drive, the Rams offense at the line. Nothing for them yet from an offensive standpoint, down 10-zip as they come up 1st and 10. The Bengal pressure gets him that time. Down he goes. Trey Hendrickson, he's the one that got home and takes him down for a loss of 9. He was still looking through his progressions and going through his receiver options, and while he was doing that, the defense got to him quickly in the pocket.
And it was a great example of zone coverage. Well executed, well coordinated. All the receivers were covered, and he couldn't evade the rush back in the pocket.
And they need to work to at least get some of this yardage back after the sack. 2nd and 19. Stafford going to give to Akers on the draw. And he'll lose yardage here. Back to the 15. Now the Bengals going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. And some secondary help here for the defense in the nickel on 3rd and long. Stafford going to give this to Akers. And he'll lose yardage on this one back to the 13. The Bengals going to use the 2nd of their timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. Here's Johnny Hacker now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. He steps into this one, and this is a rocket. And this is a beauty as that ball's going to angle out at the 6-yard line. The field position game, such an overlooked facet, Charles, of an NFL game, but this offense, they're going to be pinned back. What an ideal punt.
An ideal punt, and it leads to that term complementary football, because them doing that puts their defense in a great spot, doesn't it? Gives them a chance. If they want to be aggressive, try and maybe get a safety out of this whole thing, it puts them in that position.
On 1st and 10, Joe Burrow. And his throw is incomplete. He was waving his arms, wanted the football, but he dropped it. And that reminds me of a story you told me from your days at Tennessee. We don't need to mention the other guy's name, but when he dropped an open pass that you blew coverage on, what'd you say to him?
Yeah, it's really not right since I blew coverage, but since he dropped the pass, I said, well, maybe next time he'll just walk it out here and hand it to you. Would that be easier? He wasn't real thrilled with that
answer.
answer.
Cold-blooded. Cold-blooded. They get 7 out of that, so they're left with a 3rd and 3.
Fired that one in there, able to make connection on a nice in route.
With those faster passes and they're going that fast, any hesitation as a quarterback that the deflection, if you miss, might be bigger and lead to an interception?
Yeah, and the deflection works both ways. Maybe a defender gets a hand in the way and it pops in the air, and sometimes you throw it so hard your receiver can't handle it, and he pops it up in the air for the defenders to grab as well.
But a moot point there as they were able to connect. And he is going to have a Bengals first down by a couple of yards as they're able to convert here on 3rd and 3. So it's halftime here on Sports Grandest State. So the halftime show of the Super Bowl abbreviated, ready to go for the 2nd half. These two teams sat through a longer than usual 30-minute wait, but we're back in action here in this Super Bowl. And they'll start at the 25 as Powell decides against returning it. The Rams offense ready to begin quarter number 3. And right now, their chances of hoisting that Lombardi trophy not looking too great, but perhaps that long halftime, maybe it did them a world of good.
But if there's ever a chance to regroup, it's in this game, right? Because you do have that long halftime, a chance to really assess things and maybe make some changes and true adjustments. They've played great all year long. That was the worst first half of the season for them. They're hoping to put it behind them and come out punching here in the second half.
Now Akers to start the third quarter on the ground. And he'll wind up with about 6, up past the 30 to the 31.
Now, Brandon, that's the way you want to run the football. There should almost be quote bubbles above the offense right now. Bam, boom, biff. That's how they feel good about moving the football.
They'll come up now 2nd and 4 from the 31. Back to throw, Stafford. Over the middle, that's hauled in by Cup.
I think that's a big pickup for a first down because when you run a drag route against zone, you're sometimes asking for trouble because you might run into a defender.
Yeah, well, there they ran into a first down. Executed it to perfection. So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. To throw is Stafford. Looking underneath, he's got Akers. And he'll be corralled out across midfield down to the 45.
Couple of first downs right in succession, and this is an offense that could really use a good drive, and they're off to a fast start here.
Still in search of their first touchdown of the game, but they're on the move. 1st and 10. Here's Stafford. That's complete to his running back, Jefferson. That catch good for only a couple.
Partner, it took a while for him to lock onto a receiver, and he finally found his man coming left to right across the formation. But by the time he got the ball to him, not much of a chance to turn upfield and make anything out of it.
To throw again on 2nd down. Stafford. That'll be caught by Cup. That'll give him 8 that time. And that's going to make it 3rd down and less than a yard.
One of the selling points of the in route is it gives the quarterback a really nice sight line to his receiver and almost on a direct shot able to throw the ball into the middle of the field and have a great chance of success as they did on that play.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. They'll try and run for this with Akers. And he picks up the first before he's taken down at the 29.
I think they like this drive a little bit better there, partner. Running game helping out, picking up some of the slack. Because remember the last drive, they went 3 and out.
First and 10, and they've got 3 tight ends out there. A jumbo package look. Here's Stafford. Fighting through pressure. A quick pass to Cup. And they'll work it inside the 15-yard line before it's all said and done. I don't know what they talked about at halftime. Whatever it was, it worked. They look like a different team here in the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, I doubt that there are very many trash cans that got kicked over, that type of a speech. I think what they did was they analyzed what worked in the first half, what didn't, and figured out a better game plan.
Took till the second half, but finally a red zone opportunity here. It's 1st and 10 at the 14. On the handoff, it's Akers. And this play goes nowhere. Losing yardage back to the 15. They'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
This defense is just flat getting after it. They have not given up much of anything in the run game. Case in point right there.
Maybe just a slight detour on what's been a strong drive. Here's 2nd and 11. They'll go again here with Akers. And he's going to take this one in for a Rams touchdown. Cam Akers, a 15-yard touchdown run. And the Rams are on the board here in this Super Bowl. A strong, determined run there, Charles, to get in for 6 points.
This is why it's such a team game, isn't it? And I know it sounds really generic and it sounds almost trite, but the blocks were made up front, offensive line, collective victory at the line of scrimmage and downfield. And how about the finish to the run all the way into the end zone?
Matt Gay on for the extra point. And they're back within a field goal. It's 10-7 now. So a nice drive put together there. They go 75 yards in 9 plays. And it was Cam Akers who capped it off with a touchdown. After the touchdown, it's Gay to kick this one away. And he'll decide to not bring this one out as their drive will begin at the 25. So here are the Bengals now as they get their first possession of this second half. And maybe some renewed pressure on this unit following the touchdown a moment ago. It's back to a one-score game.
And because of that pressure, because it's now a one-score game, they know this is where you need to slow the momentum change, because otherwise that could overrun your team. You've got to be careful right here.
Burrow going to lead up the Bengals here, 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line. They'll try and start this drive in the air. He completes it to Boyd. And past the 40 before he's out of bounds.
As they began this drive, I was wondering how they were going to attack since they're playing with the lead. Would they continue to try and push the ball downfield? Well, after one play, it appears that the answer is yes.
Under a minute to go in this third quarter as they come up 1st and 10. From the shotgun, it's Burrow. And that's caught one more time by Boyd. And taking it across midfield and just shy of the 40. And defensively, they were in zone coverage there. Do you have to be a little careful? You're losing playing against a good quarterback like he is to not play too much zone?
Yeah, you have to be careful about how much time you're giving up. I think it's a good point you just brought up. So maybe if you still want to play zone, you go to a zone blitz scheme. And you can drop anyone out of your defensive front, defensive end, defensive tackle. It doesn't matter. You just exchange someone to bring more pressure towards the quarterback and still try and cover downfield.
1st down. Here's Burrow. Throw right side, pulled in by Higgins. And he gets it inside the 35 and just shy of the 30. Here in the Super Bowl. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. Here's Burrow. Throwing the out route and complete. It's Boyd. And he'll be out of bounds, able to get it down to the 25 there. They like going to him in the slot. He catches another one.
I think this comes under the heading of until they stop him, why not go back to it? He has something going really well. Great working relationship with the guy throwing the ball, and they keep making the connection.
4 yards remain for 2nd down. Again, it's Burrow. And his throw's going to be incomplete.
Nowadays, quarterbacks don't mind throwing into coverage because of the confidence they have in their receivers to come down with the ball. But sometimes you have to be careful you don't get too confident and throw an interception.
And the Bengals on third down. They've been good, 3 for 4 thus far. This is 3rd and 4. Back to throw again. And this is going to be incomplete.
Has to be a little bit of frustration there. Back-to-back incompletions. Receivers blanketed on both attempts, this time on 3rd down.
So the field goal unit is on the field as this is a big spot right here. Made his first, this now from 42 yards out. McPherson's kick is good. And the lead stretches to 6 here. It's 13-7. So they get the 3, but you wonder now, is that going to be enough?
Excellent question, because when I look at the smiles on that side of the field, they're a little tight, aren't they? If they had scored a touchdown there, those would be big half-moon grins right now because they'd feel a whole lot better about their position.
And a touchdown in the other direction, all of a sudden they're down. Here's McPherson now to send it away. And they'll start at the 25 as Powell decides against returning it. Here's a Los Angeles offense as they get set to take possession. And we're at the time of the Super Bowl where, look, they need points. And they need them badly. Trailing here in the 4th quarter as they begin this drive 1st and 10. Stafford. His throw incomplete.
A lot of times it's that first read that you have. Maybe you get it in pre-snap, and he locked in on his target, but he was covered quite well, and that one's incomplete.
Here's 2nd and 10. Now Stafford. That'll be caught. It's Cup. And he's going to be out of bounds right at midfield.
And here we are in the 4th quarter, partner, and watch them drive for what would be a go-ahead touchdown. And you and I both know this is where you need a quarterback who can keep his cool back there. Not just for himself, but to keep the rest of the team relaxed too.
They show run with 3 tight ends here on 1st down. From the 50, it's Stafford. He's got his target. It's the tight end, Tyler Higbee. And he'll go out of bounds right around the 40. Give him 9 there on the 1st down completion.
Partner, it's a lot of fun watching the NFL now, isn't it? Because when the big fella runs routes, it used to be when we were kids, he'd run about 3 different routes, and that was it. Now he can run anything and catch the balls we just saw there.
Here's a run with Akers on 2nd down. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. 41 yards now on the ground on just 7 carries. I tell you, they didn't give it to him much through the first 3 quarters, but when they have, he's been efficient. Maybe they ride him more here down the stretch.
Yeah, not sure it was actually in the game plan for him to have as few carries as he has, but it might play out really well for them now. As you noted, they want to ride him down the stretch. He should have fresh legs.
On first down, they'll stay with Akers on the ground. He is taken down at the 21 after a short gain of 2.
Now, that's a mountain of a man that just made that stop, isn't it? But he's more than that. This guy's nimble and quick. More than a space eater, he just made a great play there.
The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8. From the shotgun, here's a give to Akers. And he is going to be close to a first down as the tackle made at the Bengals' 13-yard line. Give him 8 yards there. Still a few inches to go, though, as it'll be 3rd down and about the length of the football. The battle in the trenches never more important than right now. This is 3rd and inches. Throwing is Stafford. And that almost intercepted. Oh, they would have loved to have their first pick of the game right there, but at least it does get them to 4th down.
They really had a good drive going there, but a nice recovery by the defense these past few downs, able to knock that one away on 3rd down and bring up what I think for the offense, an unexpected 4th down here.
They'll run for it with Akers. He needed less than a foot. He didn't get a whole lot more than that, but he did get the first down.
Well, he and his offensive line created enough push where if he was able to just fall forward as he was able to there, that would pick up the first down. As you noted, didn't need a whole lot, didn't get much more than that.
The 4th down run successful. Now they look to pay it off on first down. Stafford now to throw. Throw left side, complete to Cup. Touchdown, Rams. Matthew Stafford finding Cooper Kupp for the touchdown there. And the Rams are an extra point away from taking the lead in the 4th quarter of this Super Bowl. Now the biggest extra point of this man's life. And it is good, and his guys have taken the lead in the 4th quarter of this Super Bowl. Following the touchdown, here's Gay to kick it away. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. So Burrow and the Bengals trailing 14-13, 2:18 on the clock. A field goal wins the Super Bowl, but work to do here on 1st and 10. They will throw on first down with Burrow. And that's going to be caught. T. Higgins. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. Fourth quarter, 2 minutes on the clock in a tight 1-point game. So the Bengals in possession of the football here as we get you reset. They come up on a 1st and 10, desperately needing a score here on what could be their final drive. He's going to let it fly. Launches deep. A jump ball, and this is caught. A big play there for Cincinnati. Charles, just a gigantic play right there.
Absolute breakdown defensively, but take no credit away. A huge gain, and that turns things around.
Clock running, about to hit 90 seconds to go in the game. Throwing, Burrow. And it's caught. And he'll be taken down at the 2-yard line. The Rams going to go ahead and use the first of their timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. And the question now, how do they want to work the clock here on 1st and goal? A field goal would give them the late lead. And he'll actually lose a little bit of yardage here. Back to the 2. Now the Rams will signal for a timeout, their second, as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. Back at the 2 now. Here's 2nd and goal. Mixon trying to punch it in. And he is in. Touchdown, Bengals. Joe Mixon taking it in from 2 yards out. And the Bengals have regained the lead in the second half of this Super Bowl. So it was the passing game that got him down here, but closer to the goal line, it's the running game that gets him home.
Certainly appears that they lulled the defense into thinking that the passing game was going to be it the entire drive. Nice change up there going to the running game to get them over the goal line.
So a big play coming up for the Bengals as they'll indeed go for 2. Now it's Burrow. And this one's caught. And their 4th quarter lead grows by a couple more. And, of course, on the 2-point try, had the option to run or pass. They pass it there, and it works.
Felt pretty straightforward, didn't it? An open receiver, ball's put on him, 2 points for them.
So after the made field goal, here's McPherson to send this one away. And they'll start at the 25 as Powell decides against returning it. So now it's the Rams' turn, trailing by a touchdown. Under 1:20 to go. And they have to have a touchdown to level this Super Bowl as they come up on 1st down. Stafford now to throw. Completes this to Jefferson. And he's going to be dropped following a pickup of 7 past the 30 to the 32.
It drives some people crazy to see those short throws underneath. They've got to find a way to gash the defense downfield.
Stafford barking out signals and trying to get his guys set quickly. Now it's Stafford. He'll get this one to Cup, complete. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50.
That's exactly what they were looking for. If they get another gain like that, they'll be right there in field goal range.
And the tension building. First down now, but the clock continues to move. Stafford. And the coverage terrific there as that's knocked down and incomplete.
As a defensive back, you have some weapons at your disposal that we don't often talk about. And you can read the receiver's eyes, you can read his hands, and you know that the arrival of the ball is imminent. And that allows you to make a play on it and oftentimes knock it away.
An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Now Stafford. And on the left sideline, he caught it, but out of bounds, according to the head linesman. Incomplete, so the ball a little late getting there, and it's 3rd down. That would have been a tough catch, but in this 2-minute drill, those are the ones you really hope your guys come up with.
Yeah, you don't want your guy to be able to take the out because it was a tough catch. You needed him to come up with that one, because if he does, it alters the perspective of this 2-minute drill, doesn't it?
On 3rd down, here's a run by Akers. And a nice job to break free of one tackle, but it slowed his momentum somewhat, and he's taken down right after. If they're going to have a shot in this Super Bowl, they're going to need this one on 4th down. Desperation time for Stafford on 4th down. Oh, he's going to let this go for the end zone. And incomplete on the deep ball. They had to go for it with such little time remaining, and that may write a finish to this Super Bowl. Time for this one final knee to put a bow on this title bout. Bengal Nation rejoice. Cincinnati has